Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, over time. This is point 5 tutorials. I'm here to teach you guys indices. So in our intro to indices today, let me brief you guys with regards to what indices is all about. So in indices, we have two things to consider. We have the power and we have the base. This is the power, this is the base. Even if I swap it this way, this guy will be the power and this guy will be the base. I can put it in numbers. This guy is the power and this guy is the base. So if you want to interpret this means x raised to power n. This is n raised to power what? X. This is 2 raised to the power of what? 5. So in this regard, let me go back to explain vividly what indices is all about, because it's also one of the topics that give people nightmare, which is not hard at all. So for instance, if I just solve 2 raised to power 3, you just write solution. 2 raised to power 3, the 3 there is the power, the 2 is the base. What this guy is talking about is, he says, it is telling you to repeat the base until you get to the value of what? The power. So the base, the power here is 3. It wants to see base to be repeated 3 times. Write 2, write 2, write 2. So these are the bases. So this is the base. It says repeat the base 3 times. And when you repeat it, make sure multiplication goes in between. Repeat the base 3 times and put multiplication in between. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 will give us 8. Therefore, 2 raised to the power 3 is 8. So these two guys are the same. So most students, when you give them 2 raised to the power 3, they will say it's 2 times 3 and they will get 6. You and I know that 6 is not the same thing as what? 8. So these guys are not equal. So be warned. In this raised to power or exponent is quite different from what? Multiplication. So be warned. 2 raised to power 3 is 8. I could as well said solve. That's why I said solve 2 raised to the power 5. All you need to do is to write solution. After writing solution, bring down the question 2 raised to the power 5. So first thing, remember the base. The base is 2. And the next thing, remember the power. The power is 5. The power says repeat the base 5 times. You repeat it. Repeat it. Repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat it. We have gotten 5 2s. Then when you must have repeated it, the next is to put multiplication in between the numbers. 2 times 2 is 4. This 4 times 2 is 8. This 8 times 2 is 16. And this 16 times 2 will give you 32. Therefore, it implies that 2 raised to the power 5 is nothing but 32. So in this regard, if you don't know what to do, you will say 2 raised to the power 5 means 2 times 5. And 2 times 5 is 10. You cannot tell me that 10 is the same thing as 32, except if that one happens in other words. So be warned, multiplication and exponents aren't what? The same. Okay, so I give you another question. I give you this. A very simple thing to do. I say solve. I will say solve 3 raised to the power 4. You just write solution 3 raised to the power 4. When you bring it down, what this thing the guy say, your base, you know that your base is 4, and you know that your base is 3, your power is 4, forgive me. The next thing to do is, the power says repeat the base to my value. The value of the power is 4, so repeat the base 4 times. We have repeated it. And the next thing is to put multiplication in between the numbers. Now, 3 times 3 is 9. This 9 times 3 is 27. And this 27 times 3 will give us 81. So therefore, it implies that 3 raised to the power of 4 is 81. So this is the answer. Do not go and tell us that 3 raised to the power of 4 is 3 times 4, just like some of you have been doing. So this is out of 8. No human being will give you this. So be warned and go back to correct some mistakes you've made prior to this video. Alright. And now, another thing to note is, let's say 2 raised to the power of 10. This one will be very big. Solve this. This is the solution. This 2 raised to the power of 10 says repeat 2 till you get the value of 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We must have done that. We put multiplication in between. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 times 2 is 64, 64 times 2 is 128, 128 times 2 will give us 256, and 256 times 2, say 256 multiplied by 2, this is 6. Oh, this is 12, forgive me. Write down, carry it 1. This is 10, 1. Okay, 512, 512. We thought as much. Give you 512. And 512 times 2 will give you 1024. That's why most of you, when you check 1 gig, 1 gig is the same thing as 2 raised to the power 10, which is 1024. But when you open your memory card, you see that the so-called memory card that is 1 gig will be less than 1024. You begin to wonder what these people have done to us in terms of this. So 1 gigabyte is 2 raised to the power 10. Alright, so let me clean this and still get back to what's about. Let's say the question has it that you should solve, or let's say solve 5 raised to the power 4. The solution there will be 5 raised to the power 4 means repeat 5 to get the value of 4. 5 times 5, and you put multiplication in between, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And 125 times 5 will give you 625. So therefore it implies that 5 raised to the power 4 is something as 625. So these two guys are based on the same feather. So do not be carried away. There is virtually no big deal to what's on board. So in the cap, I will tell you guys one thing to keep in mind anytime you hear indices. So even the word indices is plural. The singular of indices is index. So index is singular, indices is plural. And the other thing is, in mathematics, this guy, anytime you see something like this, it refers to this guy is power. You don't call it power, you can call it exponent. So whereas this guy is the base. And if you want to do away with that calculator, you have to master indices. And you also have to have good knowledge of logarithm. If you have good knowledge of logarithm, good knowledge of indices, and good knowledge of trigonometry, you say bye-bye to calculator, because calculator is built under these 3 concepts. If you know them, calculator will not be anything to you again. So please help me share this video to family and friends. A good number of people letting me aware that maths is as simple as ABCD. And also do encourage me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much and do have a lovely day.